Low and high. Yours is fine. You're gonna be on dog 1. And then go ahead and we're gonna touch the 2 red dots together to power the collar on, and then we'll power the remote.
Placement of the
Looks good. Yeah, looks good. Nice and high. Looks snug. And then once we start working with her, we'll see in terms of the number. That'll tell us whether or not it can adjust it. No. I think the red dot's probably underneath.
And for 300 in the city, and I know they won't sell.
There it is.
Maybe the next time I don't put it on before I turn it on.
I'll run you a single for the
Good.
better than both.
Yep. And then is your remote on? So press the button.
I mean, that's like
Now what you're going to do here, and I just for the test, is you're just going to grab the box of her neck.
You had to go across
You're
the
going to hit the
field.
button in the front. That's the pager. It should just vibrate. Yep. Press it. There you go. That's just to check that it's on. Okay. And you don't have to touch it again. You can keep that in your hand and all that. And
She's gonna.
do the.
Dominique spends most of the time with Tyche,
Sure.
so she's gonna lead the way.
Okay. What's your number set at the moment? 0. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find in the plan for the dog. Is let's go to 15. That's typically where most dogs feel it. We're going to find that working number. So we have connection, perception, and working. Connection is simply connection. Perception is she feels it, but she's not too worried about it. Working number is, hey, what is this? I want it to stop. Okay. So you have 15, and you're going to press the bumpy button that's on the side. Okay. The nick function. And we're going to look at Tyche, and we're going to go tap, tap, tap. See how there's no response on her end? It's going to go to 20.
It's good that you put that video in there.
Well, does anyone with the equinox right now?
That one dog with that second time.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's super common. Tap, tap, tap. 25. Tap. There you go. Tap. Tap. So you see how she's fidgeting around? This is perception. Let's go to 30. See how she's back to being over here? Tap.
Sit down right
Yep.
here.
Yep. There we go. See how you get a bigger reaction here? That's our working number 30. Okay? So we're looking for a bit of an exaggerated reaction because we want this to work as quickly as possible. Okay? Dogs don't ease each other into things. You know, they don't give each other a manual or anything like that. It's kind of like you bring them in, if a dog misbehaves, they bite them. Okay? So I use a similar approach. Obviously, I'm not going too high, but I want this to be as effective as possible. So I find that working number always, and that's what speeds up the process. Okay? What I'm gonna have you do is shorten your leash about 2.5 feet here. That's good. Give a little bit more slack, and relax your arms. Good. Now for this exercise, I'm gonna coach you through it. But when I say turn, you're gonna be making a 180 to the right. Okay? So we want Tyche to be on our left here. So when I say turn, what you'll be doing, yep. Is just an immediate 180 turn. You don't want to round it out. Just straight back. Always to the right. Unless I specify otherwise, always to the right. Okay. When I say tap, you're going to be pressing that button. So if I say tap, 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 that would be your rhythm. If I say tap, 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 that would be your rhythm. If I say bump it to, we're at 30 or 35 now? 30? If I go 30, if I say go to 35 and you land on 34, 36, 37, it's okay. It's general range, okay? Otherwise, if you're always worried about the fine tuning of it, you'll go through it, okay? So, go ahead and relax your arms and give a little bit of slack here. That's good. So you see where that there's like a little loop there? The bottom of the loop, you see how it's right by her armpit? That's your ideal length. Okay, it gives her just enough length to make a mistake, but it's short enough that it can keep it out of her legs. Otherwise, she gets tangled up, and then you're constantly resetting the leash. Okay, we want Tyche to make mistakes. the mistakes are what allows you to teach her. Don't do that, do this.
Oh, yeah, I'll pay you and then.
So, I'm gonna have you go to move forward, tap, tap. Now she's moving to your right here. What you're gonna do, hand, hold your right, tap, and forward. You got it, and relax.
You're welcome.
And turn to your right.
And then you're gonna get,
She should be on your left.
Am I wrong, right?
no, I'm not gonna kill it. No,
Good.
stop.
So she's on your right, so we want her on your left. That's what happened. We want her
You say,
over
oh
here.
my God, shut up. You spell out OMG.
There you go. Correct. And I
Yeah, you did. You said OMG.
switch your position.
You said
how you're holding the leash because you're set up for left side.
that's
for right side. We want her on for set up on left side. So bring hand over here. Correct. There you go. And now
oh my
relax.
God, is female lingo. Oh.
There you go. Excellent. Hands over.
No, yeah, you said OMG. You said
And turn. Tap. Tap. To your right. Tap forward. Tap forward. Good. Turn. Tap. Tap. Forward. And relax that arm. Tap. Turn. Tap. 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 Relax. Forward. Turn. Tap. Forward. Tap. 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 And relax. Good. Forward. It's all normal. Tap. It's okay. Turn. Tap. Tap. Pull. There you go. Relax. Keep forward. Good job. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. Forward. Relax. Good. Keep forward. Keep forward. Turn. Tap. Good. To your left. Tap. Tap. Good job. Relax. Good. Keep forward. You got it. Go down to 28. Straight forward. You got it. Your left. There you go. And relax. The areas where tap, turn. So for tap, tap, turn. You got it. Relax. You got it. Good. Forward.
I want to fuck.
Tap. And as best you can, keep that left arm as relaxed but anchored at your side. Okay.
Okay.
Turn. Tap. Keep it anchored. Keep it anchored. Okay.
In Andy, like I knew they've been weird. Like they've been. No, I think he locked me out the store because I was dating. He tried to.
At your side.
Ask
Right
me
there.
for the cameras at 19.
You want the remote to do all the work for you. Keep
Yeah,
forward.
what are you doing? He knows the price. What are you doing? 1930. Listen to me.
Turn. Tap. Tap. Good.
I don't care how tall are you. Completely different. That's completely different. That's he knows the price.
Good. Keep straight. Keep straight. Good.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry I did it or something. I was just in a hard place at the time.
Turn. Tap.
He was like, I know
Forward,
I shouldn't
tap.
have done it, and I want to do everything to make
Very
it
good.
right. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. He's like, I mean, read it, bro. It's
Tap.
actually like,
Tap.
yeah.
Tap. Good.
Good.
Now walk slow, but keep walking.
I'll just say what you have to do.
Good. Keep moving slow. Going to slow turn to your right. Tap forward. Tap forward. Tap forward. Good. Turn. Tap. 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 Good. We're gonna bump it to 32. And turn. Tap. 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 Good. Keep forward. Good. Tap forward. Tap forward.
I just heard it say something. I was like,
Oh, you hit the page.
not even ice.
The bumpy one. I thought I kept hearing something. I'm like, what is that? It's okay. Let's go back down to the 28 then.
The bloopers edition of your videos. Try it again.
Go ahead and turn. Tap. There it is. Whoa. It's okay. Let's dip down. Go ahead and readjust. You're good. Maybe time. Maybe time.
There you go.
You're at 28, right?
Yeah.
Let's go down to 12.
12.
Yeah. That was a really big jump.
Okay.
Okay, so we need movement, but we don't need that much movement.
Okay.
Okay, and then
I'm sorry, baby. That was my fault. Totally.
okay, bit of slack there. Excellent. Now forward. Turn. Tap. There we go. Turn. Tap. You got it. Good. Keep forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. We're gonna tip it down. We're gonna go to. Okay, forward here. 8. And you're gonna adjust your leash again. That's good. And you're gonna come this way. Yep. Good. Good. Relax your arm. Good. Tap.
Letters.
Tap. Forward. Tap. Tap. Tap.
Your phone like looks like
Tap. Tap. Tap.
iPad. I forgot. It looks like there's more on the screen.
You're in it. Put a little bit of pressure.
And Spotify also good. One through Spotify looks like that.
Just enough to direct her, and we're gonna play with the number, okay? So, what number are we at now? 8. Let's go to 11. Okay. Tap. 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 Okay. 16. Tap. There she is. Now, turn. Tap. There you go. You got it. You got it. Good. Has she worn a prong before?
No.
All right. We're gonna add a prong to this because she's a little too. Edgy. This is gonna give you more physical leverage so that she's not dragging all over the place.
You literally said.
Typically, I don't like doing prong with remote because I don't know what's doing the work for me, the prong or the remote. But in this case, this will help give you a bit more leverage, okay? You're not using this in a yanking sense.
Okay.
This is just to help slow her down
Okay.
so that she's not like that, okay?
Okay.
This is all normal. To your right?
Being addicted to anything, right?
My left. Oh, this way?
Yep.
He said
There you go.
that
There you go. You got it. You got it.
she didn't say no. And
Yeah.
she's like, you know I didn't
Yeah.
want her or some shit. And then he's like, well, but you didn't say no. And then he kept like touching up on her.
Forward. Good.
Get this motherfucker put in the jail. Like,
Yeah. That's good.
it's just weird. It's just weird people though. Like, hey, dude, remember? Hey, remember fucking.
Forward. Turn. Tap. Hold your left. You got it. Good. Forward. Tap.
Oh my god!
Turn.
Bro, Jessica was just like traumatized. She looked. She was like this, and he
Keep
was like,
forward. You got it.
and Shorty was just like.
Yep. So if she gets nippy like that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull straight up. Okay? Until she relaxes. You're not gonna go down. Okay? Turn to your right. Down. Forward. To your left. Good. Pull to your left. Tap. Turn. Tap. Tap. Good. Forward. Good. Keep forward. Good. Now slow walk here. Good. Slow turn. Good. Forward. Good. Tap forward. Good. Keep forward. Keep forward. Good. You got it. Keep forward. There you go.
But I see her face is still weird. She looks like like 20%. You know what I mean? But it,
Tap forward. Turn.
actually, I can stay with you.
Good. Good. Hug a little to the right, so she's on the sidewalk. Tap. There you go. Good. Slow walk. Good. Slow turn. Good. Forward. Excellent. Left. Tap. 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 There she is, good girl. Good. And relax. Good.
So can you say good girl? Because in your videos usually.
Yeah, I keep it silent because it's too much for them to do. You know, like you're already doing a lot of stuff, right?
Running away?
Tap forward. Tap forward. There you go. And relax. Good. Very good. Now slow walk. Keep forward. Slower. And stop. Very good. Right? So it started kind of all pull towards you. Yep. Good. Like that. Okay. All over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. So her nerves are going up, which is causing her to overcompensate. Shooting over here and shooting over there and shooting behind you. That's why I popped the prong on her to just calm her down a bit, because now the prong pressure is not letting her overcompensate. So that made it easier for the tapping and the turning and just like even the physical maneuvering of her. Okay. So the reason why I try to do solely remote in the beginning is one, just to get off this control with this, that I'm conditioning the dog to respond to solely the button, and trying to get the owner used to using that as opposed to this. Because if she's off leash, you're not going to have this. You're going to have this. Okay, so I'm trying to condition you as much as possible. But here, she needs a little bit of extra help. Not a big deal. Pop a prong on her. So in the beginning, I'm allowing this, but eventually we're going to wean that away. Ideally, we're going to go to that. Okay, but now because this is completely foreign to her, she's just a more nervous type personality that we're getting the overcompensation. Okay, so I see this stuff all the time. Like the dog that you saw before you is a completely stable dog, but he had anxiety, and this brought out the anxiety because it's a stressor, but they didn't know that. Okay, so training a stable dog is different from training a nervous dog and an anxious dog and a fearful dog and an aggressive dog, right? So I've done this for so long, and I know the personality types that I know how to balance it out. Okay, so question so far.
No.
Do you see the difference from like 10 minutes ago to now, right? Do you know why I had you slow down?
So she would follow me.
Correct.
In my pace.
Correct, to see if she's going to match you, right? So e-collar and my style of obedience is always about mental control. People are typically about physical control, okay? When you get a powerful breed like this, or you get like a Mastiff or a Rottweiler or anything like that, like physically, like they can overpower, because our center of gravity is here, right? So no matter how big you are, if they have enough leverage over you, they're going to bring you down, right? So remote collar, she's thinking every time I feel this contraction, how do I turn it off? And that's the purpose of the going back and forth. So for Tyche, she gets ahead of you, and then she starts feeling that tap. She goes like, I don't like this. She turns around, oh, mom's going that way. She catches up, it goes away. But because she's nervous and not trained yet, she overcompensates. It turns on again, she turns around, oh, mom, now mom's going that way. She catches up, and it turns off. The most common approach is when the dog is pulling, the person will keep walking and either like yank them or remote them and go no, like to tell them like don't do that, right? And then when they come back here, they'll say heel. But dogs don't learn that way. They cannot, like, they don't think that complexly. It has to be very simple. So they're just thinking, I'm going this way. I feel this. I don't like it. Oh, now you're going that way. And then when they go up to you, it disappears. That's how they learn. So I call it the correct redirect. No, don't go that way. And the redirect is I'm going this way. Okay? We're not saying you.
Oh, can he try it?
Yes, I'll have you do another like kind of little lap,
Okay.
and then we're gonna swap handlers. Okay?
Okay.
No, you're fine. So the reason for no words and stuff on your part is again just a lot of stuff to think about, right? And this gets more complex, but I piece it out so that it's enough for you to process and like be able to practice, but not feeling like overwhelmed. Okay? We're not saying the word heel. We won't say the word heel this week because she doesn't know what that word means. We're conditioning the behavior first. So if I were to say heel now and she's doing all this, that's what heel is. I want this. I sent you the videos, right, of my style of heel. I want that first before I title it. Okay. Questions so far? Okay. And what's our number now?
16.
16. We'll keep it at 16, and I'm gonna have you go ahead and move forward.
Let's go.
Tap forward, tap forward, tap forward, tap. Yep, the bumpy one. Good. Good. You want to do a slow turn here. There you go. Forward, pull to your left, tap. Good, and relax. Go ahead and, good job. And turn, tap, 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 forward. Good. Keep forward, keep forward. You got it. Keep forward, good. That's the overcompensation. You can try going down to 12. Turn. Ready? Tap. 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 Back to 14. 16. That's normal, okay? That resistance, because she's going, I don't want to do this sucks. And what we do is we play with that number until we override, and she goes, okay, well this isn't working. Yeah. And she gives in, okay? And relax your arms. Slow walk, slow turn. Good job, nothing here. Forward, tap, tap, forward, tap, tap, tap. Good. Forward, good. Turn. Since she was tap, 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 tap. There you go. Keep forward, good. Good. Slow walk to a slow turn. Good turn. Forward. Keep forward. Keep forward. Good. Walk slow. Slower. Stop. Very good. Okay. So we go down to 12. She resists. Then 12 wasn't enough. We went back to 16.
Well, we got to 15.
Or 15, right? But she gave in.
Yeah.
So when we see that resistance, people go like, oh, like the dog's too under stress, or like you should lower it or whatever. I'm like, no, because at the end the dog wins. You always override the dog, okay? But we go up gradually. So it would have been 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Oh, here I come. Right, so we're not going 12 to 100.
Unless you're pushing the wrong button.
Unless pushing the wrong button, exactly. There's a method to this. We start low, we work our way up. Tyche will tell us what's too high and what's too low. Okay? So like you said, the overcompensation, maybe I'm too high, and that's correct. Let's try lower. But then coincidentally, she decided, I don't want to walk. But then 12 is too low. Okay? So as you do this more, it's just like common sense, I feel like. It becomes more so intuitive that you don't even really look at the numbers anymore. Like, I don't look at this when I train. Because she tells me what I need to do, right? And then maybe at the end I'll go, oh, okay, 32 is a number or whatever. But for my clients in the beginning, it's a structure for you to kind of go by until you get comfortable enough with this tool that you're like, oh, I don't even need to refer to the numbers because I know what Tyche, what her body language is like. That tells me when to go too high. Okay? Questions so far?
No.
Does it matter? Dominique was just walking with her on her left. I would prefer to walk with her on my right because of pedestrian traffic and other dogs, and I just prefer to have her between me and a building. And everybody wants to pet this dog.
But it starts at 7, so like
Everybody pets this dog.
Tell them no.
So
I think it's from 7 to 10. So what time is your reservation? I have no idea. Oh my god, that was so good.
you would think with Doberman that people would be intimidated.
Sure.
Apparently not. It's the most popular breed that we've seen.
to be pet.
everybody wants to pet it. So I would rather have people not.
Away? Sure. So if you're gonna do, so heel can be either side. I do left because it's traditional, but if you're right-handed, it's easier to teach on the left. You can teach on the right, but then it has to be consistent for both of
For
you.
both of us. Okay.
Otherwise, she's gonna get mixed up, and then what we would do is we would flip it. We'd flip it. So instead of going about right, you go about left.
Right.
Okay, because you go away from the dog to bring them into that right side. So is the consensus right side?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So we'll go into swap handlers, and then we'll start the right side process. You're probably gonna have to remind me. Okay, because I train like 95% of dogs left. So if I start talking to that on the left, say right. And okay. So Tyche's probably going to be a little confused from the get-go. It's okay. And if you would please just rotate that prong collar so that the chain is more so facing your right leg. There you go. Yeah, that's good. Right there. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and give some slack, and then relax your arms. There you go. So you want to look at that loop, right? So the bottom of that loop is right by that armpit area. That lets us know we have the ideal length. Okay. And give that slack back because you choked up a bit. There you go, like that. And then relax your arms. Relax. There you go. Relax.
That is relaxed.
This is it right here, right? So I'm going to have you go to move forward. Okay? So when I say turn, you're going to make a left turn. Good? Just keep forward. Keep forward, tap. So pull to your right, tap.
It looks so easy.
There you go, forward. And relax. Good. Turn to your left, tap, 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 forward, tap, good. Pull to your left, tap, straight, tap, there you go, not forward. And relax. Good. Yeah. Pull to your left, tap, keep forward. Good job. Tap forward. Relax your arm. Good. Tap forward. Good. Pull to your left. Or right, I'm sorry. Tap. Keep forward. Keep forward. Tap. Keep forward. Tap. Keep forward. Keep forward. Tap. Tap. There you go. There you go. Now relax. Good. Good. Slow turn to your left. Tap. 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 Good. To your right, I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. We understand. Yes.
No, it's left. It's left, right. Now slow walk here. And stop. Good. So you see how quickly what you did just 15 minutes ago just transferred over? Yeah, that's why I do e-collar.
Yeah.
Very simple when you, with the style that I teach, transference is very high.
Yes.
So that means if once you get this down and you have the consistency, you add in, a dog walker or whatever, and you say, look, this is what we do, this is how we do it, this is the number. Boom, like that, real quick. Okay. The main thing, the hardest thing is the working number, because you have to find the working number within your setting. So I like Oz Park because it's busy. Obviously for you guys in South Loop, it's going to be busy as well. So transferring her obedience from here to there should not be difficult. The only difference would be she's in her own territory, that maybe she's a little bit more comfortable. But all that means is 16, 20, 24. What's going to be that number that's going to make you adhere to the obedience like I know you did at Oz Park?
Yeah.
Okay? Questions?
If in training, shouldn't she be sitting down at the end?
Yes. We'll add that in. Okay. So right now I'm just worried about you getting Tyche here. Okay. So we're it's kind of like piecemeal, right? Little by little. Right. Because then I flood you with a lot of info, and then come back and then everything's not so good. Okay. So we're gonna keep it super simple.
Okay.
We want that left shoulder to be here. Like that's perfect heel position right there. Okay. Left shoulder to right leg. So use that as your visual. So if you're walking with Tyche and you see her shoulder here, that's too far. If you can see that, turn and correct that, you're going to get very good tight obedience, and that's how we build to off leash if the owner so wants. Okay.
So this dog has a tendency to touch as you walk also.
Okay.
What you want? because that's what she does. She just has to be touching something.
Gotcha.
It's kind of bizarre, but that's what she does. No matter what, standing in the kitchen, she'll be touching.
Does she have any separation anxiety?
No, actually.
I don't think so.
Because that's what they call a Velcro dog. So
These guys are known for that.
gotcha. Because I've trained a couple of Dobies. They're not very common. I got one right now who's like twice her size, and he's a not touchy Doberman. Other than with his owner, but he's also human aggressive. He's fearful. So, so all this is looking good. This is about what I expect to see within the first class. Okay. So we're gonna do a bit more,
Okay.
and if everything's going good, then we'll start to add in the auto sits. Okay. Ahead a little bit. Go ahead and move forward. Yep. Keep your arms relaxed. There you go. Good. Pull to your right. Tap. Tap. Keep forward. So if she, yeah, tap forward. There you go. Tap forward. Keep, and if needed, you can grab closer to the prong collar so you have more immediate leverage. Tap. There you go. Now keep straight. Keep straight. Keep straight. Forward. There you go. Now relax.
She can rub it on, like rub it off.
And then relax your. There you go. Very good. Good. What I would suggest is taking that collar and placing it on the right side. So if she tries to rub into you, you don't have that box hitting your knee. Okay.
Keep going, Ryan.
There you go. Let's go. Pull to your, she's getting tapped. There you go, now relax. Very good. She almost self-corrected there. Keep straight. Keep forward. And relax those arms. Good. Keep forward. Good. Back on the sidewalk. Relax your arms. Slow turn. Good. Keep forward. Tap. Tap. Keep forward. Tap. There we go. Keep forward. There you go. You got it. Good job.
You know, that comes from the gentle leader.
She's trying to rub it off.
Whip your leash around. There you go. Good job. Go back. Slow turn. Arm relax. Yeah. Keep forward. Tap. There you go. And relax. Good. Tap forward. Good. Going slow. And turn. Tap forward. There you go. Tap forward. Good. Pull to your right. Tap forward. Careful. There you go. Good. Go ahead and slow. Slower. Right. Now what you're gonna do here is going to stop. Pull straight up on your leash. Tap. Tap. Grab a little bit, choke a little bit closer to your prong. There you go. Up. Tap. 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 And relax and praise. Very good. Okay. I'm going to have you try it a couple more times. Let's go ahead and just twist that collar so that's inwards or on top. That chain part. There we go. That's good. And forward. Yep. There we go. And relax. Good. Keep forward.
As I'm fucking next to him.
All right. Keep that right arm relaxed.
Dude,
There you go.
It's like instinct. I just fucking whipped the I whipped the fuck out. My hand was 12 car, bro.
No,
He was about to
relax
hit
your
me.
arms.
Like, it's his fault. I hit the fuck out the car.
Slow.
And then I tapped.
Stop.
I realized it was 12 and I
Up.
tapped to like the mirror. I
Tap.
was like, use it. And they both
Tap.
looked at me and they were like
Tap.
scared. They
And
were scared. I
relax
was
your
like,
praise.
yeah.
Good girl. Good girl. Good sit.
Good. And forward.
Let's go.
Relax your arm. Turn. Tap. Tap. Good. Relax the arm. Keep the arm relaxed. Very good. Keep forward. And slow. Stop. Up. Tap. Relax. Praise. You had a girl. We're gonna do 2 more. Forward. Relax your arm. Very good. Slow turn.
Okay, yes, but he's also
Keep your arm relaxed. Relaxed arm. Yep. Whip that leash around. There you go.
It's slipped.
Slow.
I'm sorry, it's slipped.
Slower.
Didn't say it.
Turn. Tap. Turn. Tap. Tap. Forward. Yep, relax. Relax that right arm. There you go. Forward. Forward. Yep. That arm relaxed. Slow. Stop here. Good. Up. Tap. Brace. Good. We're going to do 1 more. Excellent. A little bit slack. Very good. Relax your arms. Good. Forward.
You gotta smack the cannon until you're getting hurt. When you want to get high close,
Turn. Tap. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Slow turn here. Keep your arm relaxed. Good. Stop right there. Up. Yep. And brace. We're not going to care about positioning. I just care if you push your butt down. Okay? So you try to push for 2 in here up again. Yep. If you try to do everything all at once, both the human and the dog, information overload, they're not going to get it all. I just care if she puts her butt down. Okay? We can always tweak things as we go along.
Okay.
So, good. Much better. Right?
Yes.
Much better.
You're getting it.
We do want to be mindful though, you have a habit of using that right arm. Okay? Now with the prong, because it's like power steering, as some trainers call it, it's effective, right? But like let's say you take her out without the prong, you put her on that flat collar. Pulling a dog on a flat collar tends to promote more pulling. Okay? So then you're gonna untrain Tyche. So keeping that arm relaxed when you're doing those turns, you're turning Tyche with the leash, and you want her to be turning with the remote or turning because she's paying attention. Okay? So keeping that arm down, relaxed always, and only applying if you need to give her what we call directional pressure. So if Tyche goes to your left, we don't want her to left. We need to counter her with directional pressure to the right while we tap so she brings herself over. So I'm not dragging her over. I'm giving direction, and the remote is making her think, what do I do to stop this? And it disappears. Oh, the leash was telling me where to go to turn this off, right? If Tyche resists and does this, and you're moving forward, the tension is bringing her forward. Tap to pop her forward to bring her back to your side. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you're almost always going opposite to the dog. She pulls left, you pull right. She pulls right, you pull left. She pulls back, you pull forward. Okay. With the exception being, if she goes forward, you would not pull back. Okay. If you pull back on a dog that's forging, you're telling them to pull. Okay. Dogs have a thing called opposition reflex. Lightly pull up on your leash here. Tap. 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 And I'll explain that in a moment. It's called opposition reflex. When they feel pressure, they want to go against it. It's like when people put harnesses on dogs, they pull forward, they tend to pull back, and then it makes the dog pull a bit more forward. Okay? So here, if Tyche gets ahead of you, what would you do? What would you want to do?
Tendency to pull back.
Right?
You're not supposed to.
But you're not supposed to. And tap and what?
Tap until she slows down.
Close. Tap and what did you do earlier?
Turn.
Yes. You would turn. Remember, don't. She feels it. Turns. Dad's going that way. She catches up. It goes away. Okay. So you want to do that correct and redirect.
It totally discounts the oppositional mindset of the play.
Right. Right. So if you do the tap to slow her down, like this, it's a forever problem. You will always be doing this tap, slow down, okay? When you do the turn, you're telling her, don't do that, you're supposed to be doing this. That's the difference. So for Tyche, if she forges and you tap her and she jumps back and she looks at you, you're going in the same direction. So she goes, what was that correction for? Like the human can deduce what it's about, but the dog can't. That's why we want to do that turnaround.
So
Okay?
every time she goes forward, you have to turn.
Correct.
Even if she even if she corrects herself.
Yes.
Okay.
So like, because dogs are very intelligent, they will learn to like play this kind of back and forth game.
Okay.
So if every time you can catch her, it's tap turn, she's just thinking, man, anytime I get ahead of them, they're quick. They beat me to it. And that's how we create very tight heel. And that's in the beginning, right? Once she's trained, it's like heel, we start walking, she should know that position, but you have to be committed to do all that correctional stuff, okay? Now, let's say you're working with Tyche in the neighborhood, and we're at 16 today, right? And up. Yep. Yep. Let's say you're at 16, and every walk it's like 100 turns. What does that tell us? Is that good?
Not getting it.
Not getting it, right? So how do we get her to get it? Yes, increase the number. So if 16 was 100 turns a walk, and I go to 20, and then 100 turns a walk becomes 50 turns a walk, it's good progress. Still got 50 turns a walk, right? 24, 28, 32, until eventually you go on a walk and you're like, man, I haven't turned with Tyche for like 3 days. Then it's like, I guess 32 must be that range for this environment, okay? When you hit the right number, it should be an immediate like shift. It should never feel like an argument with Tyche, okay?
But if
And
she growls, then it's too high.
she was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was getting frustrated, so we did the dip.
Okay.
Okay. So when that's what she will tell you what's too much, what's too little, what's too much, right? Too little, she doesn't respond. Too much, biting at the leash, the growling, what's this, right? Overcompensation. So you're trying to find that balance. There is no perfect number because every day is different. You got bikes, kids, people wanting to touch your dog, other dogs not under control, off-leash dogs, right? A lot of stuff going on. It's going to vary. But that's why being able to read Tyche and knowing what our standard is, that standard is her left shoulder to that right leg, that gives you the cue of, okay, yeah, right now 28 is the perfect number. She's not growling at me, she's not resisting, she's being perfect. I haven't had to tap her for the last 2 miles. 28 is the number right now, okay? And it can shift within a walk as well. But for the most part, once you get used to it, dogs tend to have a range. It's usually up, yep. Good. It's usually between 15 and 25. That's pretty standard. But I get, other dogs I got a dog right now whose number is 95. Okay? He's that stubborn and tough. But he's not like yipping or anything. He's responding like Tyche responding to 16. Questions?
So when we go home, we talk to other dogs and we walk around the neighborhood and let people touch her. And what do we do? Do we continue to do all of that?
So when Tyche is under command, when she's doing this, think of it as her being clocked in. She's working. Okay? So right now I'm working. I'm not drinking a beer. I'm not on the phone talking to my friends. I'm not off, doing my own thing. I'm here talking and educating you because that's what you paid for. But as soon as the session is over, I might just go to the bar and grab a beer. Okay? So for Tyche here, when she's clocked in, think of it that way. She's working, right? Now, I don't mind if you allow her to greet dogs and say hi to people.
Or go to the dog park.
Or go to the dog park. But what we want to do is when you come to that stop, Tyche should sit, right? We reinforce it with the remote or whatever. You wait a moment. Maybe it's her buddy. Maybe it's something she knows. And then you would say, my cue is break. Break means your job is done. She's off the clock. She's clocked out. She can pee, poop, roll around, smoke a cigarette. I don't care. That's her own time. She can greet people. And then once that's done, and you're like, okay, we're going to walk to the park. Tap. We bring her in. She's in heel. As we
And
walk
I don't
to the
have
park.
to say anything. I just have to hit the button.
For this week, we're not saying heel.
Okay.
The button is actually what cues everything.
And I can say break though.
Yes.
Okay.
So we do have the off.
Okay.
The on is the tap.
Okay.
Next class, if everything is looking good, everything is still, like how it is today, and you're like, Jesse, man, it's been great. Then they go, now we're going to say heel.
Okay.
Now we're going to title it because it's good.
Jesse, what do we do when we go to the cabin for the weekend where she has full, it's like doggy Disneyland?
Sure, then you don't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah. This is when, when you need it, right? So like, let's say she's not going to need tight heel and all that stuff because it's cabin or whatever. Then you don't put the remote on. You just let her be techy, right? But when you're in the city and you're like, oh, we're gonna walk from here to there, and we're gonna pass by all these distractions, I want that control. My general rule of thumb is 80% work to 20% play. So if I do an hour-long walk, if I do an hour-long walk, 45 minutes might be structure heel, and then 15 minutes divided up, or as one big chunk, is playtime. Okay, your dog becomes what you practice with them. So if you practice a lot of freedom and do what you want, you get a lot of freedom, do what you want, party animal kind of dog. If you practice discipline with the privilege of you get to meet other dogs and play, you get a dog that has good impulse control and isn't like just all over the place doing their own thing. Okay? Other questions?
So with this dog, right on about now, but another dog, crouches, lays down, waits for the other dog to approach her, and all of a sudden she springs out. Yep. So she goes on the crouch mode. Is that kind of timing and she make a stand?
If she's under command, yes. Right? So if she's in the heel, right, she's here, and she crouches because of the dog, you would have to correct that. Okay? Because that would be disobedience. But then you can release her, and once you release her, she can crouch and spring up because she's off the clock, right? So right now, the reason why we're correcting those laydowns is because she's on the clock. And as a human, you're logical and you're going, oh, it's hot, she's tired, she's laying down, she's tired, and you would excuse it. But dogs don't think like that. She just thinks, I normally do this, but then I decided to do this, and it went uncorrected. So if I can do this, what else can I do? So that's why obedience is very black and white. Okay, so I don't need her to be in the perfect sitting position. I just need that butt down. I don't care if she's looking this way, that way, maybe even this way. As long as she's keeping that position, I don't care. But she cannot lay down and she cannot stand up. Okay, so you call the shots. So if you see a dog coming and you're like, man, you've done 45 minutes of a really good heel and she's sitting, you can release her right off the bat. But you want to release from stationary to then loose. Because a lot of people, as they're walking, will release as they're walking to greet the dog, and guess what we create? Every time you pass by a dog, she's going to assume you're going to release her, and she'll preemptively break. So adding that sit there before the release just adds a little bit of a clear boundary of this to break means now you're free. Okay? Questions?
No, I was just thinking the word I use is okay.
Oh, you can use okay.
It's probably better though, because
Right. Yeah. It's completely up to you. I use the word break, so if I say break, you tell me okay, but I forget because some people have free, some people say release.
Right.
I had one client that said at ease because he was military. Okay is another one. So as long as your release command is consistent, I don't care what it is. Okay. Other questions?
So we're not using this collar for anything else but our heel.
Just this for now. Correct. Now, like let's say you're at the dog park and she's like eating goose poop or something. Since you're in an enclosed area, you could use the remote to correct that behavior. Okay? Because you're in an enclosed area, I'm not afraid of her getting spooked and running away.
Right.
But if she were to be off leash, like in a setting like this, completely no leash, and she goes to eat goose poop and you go to correct her, my concern is that you'd spook her and we've not covered recall yet.
Okay.
Okay? Other questions?
So that brings up the question of at the dog park. Like maybe we could work on that as well.
Yeah. So it's typically heel.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Well, I'm just saying, like, we work on heel, but we take her to the dog park and she just needs a ton of energy. Like, she needs to release a ton of energy. And one of the things we can never do is get her out of the dog park. We look like two...
Sure. We have to trap her to get her out. For sure.
We can't even bribe her.
Sure. So it's usually heel first 2 classes, and the 3rd class you jump into recall.
Okay, so we'll just wait then.
Yeah. Because I've had clients do that where they try to skip ahead and they send their dog away.
Oh,
okay. So what we'll want is by the 3rd class you'll want a long 30-foot long leash.
Okay.
Not a flexi leash. It's like your leash here but 30 feet. Okay. Because that gives us a means of physical contact to direct her where to go without the risk of is she going to run away.
Do we need to get the choke collar, whatever the thing is called?
Not yet. If you want to try her on the flat collar, and because now she's got some familiarity, but if you find like it's like what it was earlier, then you can pick one up, tap, tap, tap. It did make a huge difference. Okay.
Do we know
Typically,
anybody who has one? I said, I wonder if we know anybody who has one. Because I don't think we'll need it forever. Anyway, yeah, let's try it without it.
okay. Otherwise, you can shoot me an email and I can send you the Amazon link. They're like, they range depending on the market. They're somewhere as low as $22 to up to like $35. And then she did well with this size. So I'd send you the link and I'd say get the size for this brand. And then we'll see what happens.
My only concern is the difference between like when she's all over the place, we keep going up because we think she's not
Right,
responding.
being compliant, and then it's like, but maybe she needs lower, but
Yeah, that's the only gray area that I'm
She'll let us know.
Huh?
She'll let us know if it's too hot.
Yep. Yep. There you go. Good. Yeah, and then we'll see what happens. Typically, I only do prong and remote for like the really big dogs, like the Rottweilers and the Great Danes, because physically the owners need a bit more leverage. The only thing here is not so much her size; it's just that nervousness.
So she's a nervous dog personality.
Yeah, for sure. Right off the bat, just all that moving and stuff. This will actually help taper that down because it's a stressor, but it's a controllable stressor. So once she figures out the answers to things, like the sits, the first hit was kind of like wonky. He did it like 2 or 3 times, and all of a sudden now she's getting it very consistently.
Yeah.
So when people see the nervousness, they tend to dial back, and they go, no, work the dog through it, because that's what teaches them to think through nervousness. Okay? Don't worry about like if you accidentally overhit or anything like that. You're not going to screw her up.
Okay.
You know.
That's my only concern.
Yeah, no. Emotionally, psychologically, whatever, physically, you're not going to screw her up. If you practice the wrong thing for a week or whatever, like it can be fixed. It's just now we got to think a few things.
Okay.
I get dogs that have been e-collar trained by other trainers, and it's terrible. And I come in and have to reteach it, and it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Anything else?
Nice job, Ron. Get
Oh.
no shoulders down.
Yeah. So now you want to be aware of that, right? A lot of people. It's very common. A lot of people do this when they walk their dogs. They're so used to physical restraint, right? That you do want to be mindful of that. Keep those arms down. Okay. Walking with your dog shouldn't be a pleasure. It shouldn't be a stressor. It's a workout.
70 pounds of tug.
Yeah. You know, she's low to the ground. Your center of gravity is here, so it's like whoa. Let's say you're walking with Tyche and you don't have time to like commit on the walk back, right? Like the tight heel. You just come to a stop, get that sit ideally, break, and just let her pull you home.
Okay.
Okay? As long as you initiate the break.
Okay.
And if you don't say anything, if you don't do anything, just go out and you're not tapped or anything, technically Tyche is
On a break.
do her own thing. Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as you get that tap in and she's here, now everything starts.
And how
until you
often
say
do you
break.
do this? Like once
Dogs
a
learn
day?
better in smaller chunks.
Okay.
So I make every walk the training walk, right? Because you train it to go about your day. So if you do 3 walks a day for 20 minutes, that's ideal. Because
Okay.
dogs learn better in smaller chunks. If all you have is 1 solid hour for the day, you can do that too. But you're only turning when Tyche's not here. If Tyche's here and you're walking, just keep walking, okay? You're only doing that about left turn when she passes you up. Otherwise, you keep going forward. Before some of those turns, I said slow, then I said slow turn. Because I could see she was being mindful. And then you would see her turn with you, and I said, good turn. So whenever you're gonna stop and turn this week, I want you to get used to the habit of always slowing down. Okay? You guys drove here, right? What do you do before you stop? What do you do before you turn? Right. Same thing for Tyche. Okay? So slowing down is going to communicate to her something's changing. So if I slow down, Tyche should slow down. Makes it easy for her to get that turn. But if I'm just walking, I decide I'm going to do this, she's not going to catch it. Okay? So So that slow down is imperative. You want to make sure you always do that before the stop, before the turn. And it's going to be something that's a part of the training, even after she's been trained, because you know what you're going to do, Tyche does not. Okay?
So the dog has one problem. It doesn't like, it loves squirrels.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that.
Like, he actually took me up on it.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention and found one and literally took me up on it.
Sure. So if you're coming by a situation with squirrels, we're mindful of it. At 16, you see her locking on. I wouldn't even bother moving forward until I get her to disengage and break away from
You
the
would
squirrel.
basically turn her if you saw her.
Turn, or if you're like, let's say she's staring, 16, 20, 24, until Tyche goes, whoop, and she disengages. Okay? There's a number of ways about it. For this week, do what's easiest for now. Okay? And as we go along, we'll just tighten things up.
All right.
Other questions? Okay. So so for your homework, just this, those left turns, getting that left shoulder, that right leg. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email.
All right.
If you have any issues and stuff, let me know. But it's pretty straightforward, and then we'll see how she is next week. Okay.
Okay.